Headphones are bad for your eardrums.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, they're not mine, so I guess I shouldn't care. I'm just spreading good news. No, I don't know. I just feel like having that speaker like right next to your eardrum and vibrating it. Like I had headphones in literally for like 2 years straight. I would just like make art, put headphones in, listen to podcasts. And when I listen to podcasts like all the time, I swear the frequencies of the human voice, I was like, became muted. Like in my whole life, like when I didn't have my headphones on, I'm out and about, I'm like, dude, I can't hear anything when people are talking to me, but I can hear all the other frequencies around it. And then I stopped doing that, and I never use headphones now because my hearing has gotten back to normal, and I think it was the headphones.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You stick in this thing right up next to your eardrum and like blasting these like sound waves at it really close in this completely non-natural way.
Well, I guess you shouldn't be like blasting it to begin with.
Well, I mean, I really didn't. I just listened to podcasts, and I think listening to podcasts because it's always at the same frequency. Basically, like the entire like Joe Rogan, Duncan Trussell, like those two like little frequency ranges were just gone. Just gone. They weren't gone, but they were definitely like reduced. I'm not trying to, say that this is going to happen to everybody. Maybe I just listen to them too loud. I don't know, but that's my experience.
Okay, so right now I have my phone a couple of feet away from me charging, and I'm wearing my headphones speaking. Does it sound like I'm far away?
I mean, it sounds kind of not like you're far away, but it doesn't sound super like
immediate.
Like full, yeah. Like it doesn't sound immediate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably because I have my headphones on doing this.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I've never done this. We've never done anything over Anchor, so maybe that's just the way Anchor sounds. It might just. I mean, how do I sound? Because I'm talking just directly into the phone, up at my face.
Well, it does sound slightly more shallow.
Yeah, shallow.
But yeah. I think it's also because we're recording over data, not cellular.
Ah.
I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah, it probably does.
Like the data transfer speeds and all that. It's fine, but cool.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's serviceable. I would say as we move forward, like, I think if we got like decent mics and probably, I don't know if Anchor's a good long-term solution. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's good for long-term.
No, it's kind of restrictive. I mean, when I was looking through it, I'm like, okay.
Well, it could be a good publishing source.
Yes.
Because it can publish across the board. But to Apple, to Spotify, to SoundCloud. Like, you can just hit publish and it can go all the way across, and they handle all the details.
Ah.
So it might be something good to do to get started.
Is that free?
Yeah, it's free. Anchor's free.
So it's free to host a podcast at all those different locations?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
Exactly. But, I mean, apparently that's the case, but anyhow. Yeah, so I have that charging.
How was it?
Headphones on.
That. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm doing some laundry in the other room right now.
Oh, how was the drive today? That's really what I'm curious about.
Right, we're just kind of easing into the actual recording right now.
What?
We're easing into the recording right now, so we're just like chatting, and then it eventually can become the actual podcast test episode.
Yeah, I mean I thought that was implied. No. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was just double checking the implication.
It's fine. Well, I think. I mean, why not just share a podcast where it's just two friends talking? It's just we happen to talk about really cool stuff and kind of funny stuff and mundane things like, hey, how was your drive? Oh, it was cool. It was good. I went to Valdosta. I saw my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very, when you think about it, that's very intimate, and I don't really know of any podcasts like that where
True.
it's funny, Royce and I, one of the things, our ideas was we were just going to turn ourselves on and just record everything and make it live all the time. That was like
a 24-hour
yeah,
recording.
like that was one of our little things we'd always talked about doing. We never did it, but
so people can tune in during the sleeping hours and you're just like
exactly.
snoring.
They can hear you talking in your sleep, and
That'd be kind of weird.
It'd be very weird. You know what sucks about this right now? I can hear myself in some sort of feedback loop.
Okay, so this is me right now. I have headphones on that are noise canceling. I just got them today. I got the new Sony WX1000 M3s, whatever. Basically, it's like their nice monitor over-the-ear headphones that also are noise canceling. And so I'm wearing them right now. Mm-hmm. And my voice is like half as, like I can only hear my voice about half as much as it would be without the headphones. So I don't really completely know my voice level.
Because you don't have it set like as a monitor?
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. That's fine. It's kind of interesting. It makes me question everything. But I'm not getting but I'm not getting a feedback loop listening to you.
Well, I'm just getting, whenever I say something, I can hear myself talking like 8 milliseconds right after I say it. It's like being in a cave, but a very small cave.
Okay, so that's not really happening to me unless I say something and then you say something and I speak again, because there's like something in the software that's recording us is recognizing when audio is occurring.
I see.
And so I think it's boosting and decreasing the gain on both sides.
Yeah.
So if we interject at a certain moment and it doesn't catch up perfectly, then we'll hear our own voice. Because our, you know what I mean? Like it gets amplified on your side. So I'd be hearing myself speak. Yeah, anyhow.
I mean, you sound fine.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's just hearing myself is just terribly annoying.
Do you have it on speakerphone?
Yeah.
That's probably why. Ooh.
I don't even know how to take it off
headphones?
To change it.
I'm not sure if you can with Anchor, probably, unless you have an external.
Hold on.
Mic.
No,
I bet.
I just changed it to off speaker. It's doing the same thing.
On Anchor? I can still hear you, so obviously it's still recording.
Yeah. This is basically it's getting worse.
This is uncharted territory.
I know that we're learning things. It's getting worse though.
We are.
The delay is getting longer.
That's the latency.
The latency is increasing. And it's like it's hard to concentrate when I can hear. I can't even do it. I can't even do it, Justin. It's not funny. You're not supposed to be laughing at me.
Well, no, there used to be an app a couple of years ago that people were downloading, and then they try to speak because it would just repeat their own voice, and they'd be like, yeah, my name is blah, 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 and their voice would just become this blur, this slur of sound. That's what's about to happen to you.
I'm right there. It's your brain, you can't help but like stop and listen to yourself a little bit, but then you don't want to.
Well, it's like when people are on stage and they're speaking to like a whole crowd.
Yeah.
And it's not synced properly.
Yes.
They can't speak. Because, it's like a trickery of the mind.
Do you have issues with public speaking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if I know the people or if it's a crowd that is clearly like has a similar interest.
Yeah.
It just depends. If it's completely random people, I'm like, I don't know what to do. But if it was like a convention or something, clearly the people in the room share some kind of similar interest, then I'd probably be a lot more comfortable because at least we have similar interests. Like
I see.
We've put value in being there.
Well, I think I'm discovering. So what you're saying to me makes total sense to me, and that most people I've ever talked about this to, they answer in a similar way. But here's my hierarchy of fear in public speaking. I'm most uncomfortable speaking in front of people that I know well. Like, if you put my family and acquaintances and like you and like all my friends, I'd be so nervous. Like, just so nervous, as I feel like that there's this intimacy there that you all know me in this way, so therefore you have an image of who I am, and that me getting up here and talking, it might conflict with your like internal brain virtual image of me. If I'm at like a convention or something where people have like similar interests, I'm kind of in the middle. But I feel most comfortable with people that are complete strangers. Like, if I don't know, like, I could walk into like an arena of people I don't even know, and I'm good.
Is that because you have skin in the game, or you don't have skin in the game?
I think that's part of it, actually. Is that like I can be so free because I feel like who cares? Who cares?
Interesting.
I know. It's very. Oh God, Justin, I can't handle hearing myself. Can we just stop this and then just like talk on the phone until we get this figured out?
Okay, hold on.
Because I'm gonna hang up.
Why are you hearing yourself though?
It's terribly frustrating.
You know what? Let me take my headphones off and see if that fixes it.
I bet it has nothing to do with it.
Let's just see. It's on speakerphone, right?
What if I take my phone off Wi-Fi and try just the network? Wait.
Okay.
Justin?
I'm here.
No, it's still doing it. Hold on.
You can give it a shot. If you want. Yeah, you can give that a shot. Yeah. I'm still here. I'm here.
Justin?
I'm here.
Justin?
I'm here.
Oh,
can you hear me?
You're so quiet.
I'm quiet?
I can't hear. Oh, hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Justin?
Yeah.
Okay, talk.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Talking.
Talking. Okay, that's so much better. I don't hear myself anymore.
Really?
I don't.
It must have been the connection.
Yeah. Because I took it off the Wi-Fi and put it to LTE.
Oh. See, I don't think I can do that because I don't have much cellular service inside the house.
Yeah, I have actually good service here.
Oh, sweet. Well, then, yeah, that's what you should be doing.
This is much better. Much better!
Nope. Yeah, it's cool. All right.
So I only had coffee this morning.
Oh my gosh.
It was half decaf, half regular.
At least you're getting off of it.
Oh, I'm getting off of it. That was it. And then all I've eaten today is, well, after 3, I started my fast and I had a little bit of pineapple because it's okay. I'm okay eating a little pineapple. That's my fast food. And
That's your fast food.
No, because I was Justin, because I was alerted by the divine source of all energy, aka God, aka Jesus, the Spirit.
But you can have some pineapple.
The Holy Spirit. That pineapple is good for me, so I eat I eat a lot of pineapple. In fact, so
you just look at the pineapple like, I just look up in the sky.
What's so funny is that
he's like, hey, can I have this? And he's like, he didn't say no.
That's actually kind of accurate. Well, what's so funny is like, I get the most mundane like things coming through, like channeling through me, like just ridiculous things. I don't know, but yeah. So I had a little pineapple and yeah, no coffee. I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna fast for 36 hours at least. No coffee.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So you said you did the intermittent fasting. Now, what I was doing was OMAD.
What's that?
1 meal a day. So
1 meal a day.
1 meal a day. Like to me.
Wouldn't this be OMD?
OMAD.
OMAD? Oh, 1 meal a day.
I
I
mean,
was like one meal day.
it's amazing. It's amazing how like dense we can be. I love it. you and I will both,
Uh,
you and I will both pick apart anything. That's like,
well, because I was like, the sound when you're eating, it's like dum dum dum, and it's like,
oh my God, you're right.
it's 1 meal a
Because
day.
you know what's, but so Justin, here
Until
was,
you finally get to eat, you're just like dum dum dum. You're just chowing down,
okay, so my
doubling
issue,
down.
my issue with intermittent fasting
No
was,
one said how big the meal had to be.
that's it. My problem with intermittent fasting, Justin, was you'd be shocked at how much food I can eat in
When you
like
don't eat.
in like a 4 hour time period. Like I'll eat like I was eating like 3 times as much as I would normally eat a day. In
Oh,
like
that's the problem then.
it's like just a total scarcity mindset. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
rah, 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 I'm not getting enough in the day. That means I gotta
dum
eat.
dum. Yeah.
But what's funny is my dad eats really fast and like kind of like just he doesn't anymore as much. But growing up, man, he ate so fast and he just got in there and.
Ooh.
And I remember at the dinner table we would discuss, and my dad would say things like, "Well, he's like, we must have like our genetics. We must come from like people who really like were starving a lot because we just have this tendency
Really?
to,
You'd be very proud of that.
to
Like,
just
I'm proud of our ancestry. They must have been starving constantly.
yeah. There was
But very strong genes to have survived through all the
yes.
starvation.
Well, he would say this with no like
Is he stubborn?
that would be an understatement. I mean, my
That's,
dad is.
that's an
My dad is
understatement?
my dad's incredibly intelligent, um, very interesting perspective. Like he comes from the deep South. He was raised Southern Baptist. He jumped into the world of science and logic and reason and rationale and you know, like things that make sense. Unlike the world I tend to live in, and
Yeah,
he
you don't make any sense of it.
yeah, like I mean, my stuff's all kind of like more like ephemeral. Um, but
Yeah,
he is stubborn. Basically, that's he can be
exactly.
he's a bit.
That's why his entire DNA ancestry never died. They through all the starvation, they were too stubborn to quit.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God,
Wouldn't that be interesting if traits are based on like actually that like
they
if
probably are.
if it was passed on if you were just stubborn because you didn't choose to die?
Yeah, you're just like nope, sorry.
Yeah, so then you just become a stubborn person.
Well,
Um,
well, like what?
it's like you can't choose if it's going to be a positive or negative stubbornness.
Yeah,
It
right,
just
right.
it just happens, and then you're in life. You have to kind of like choose its path,
Yeah,
or it's gestation.
you're just stubborn. Basically,
Yeah,
it's like
stubborn own coot.
it's kind of a one-dimensional movement. Well, and the thing is like he he can be a little stubborn, but it is actually he also refuses to give up in certain things. You're right. Oh my God, this is so enlightening. I'm learning something about my dad. He also like let's say I lose something. Like I went for a bike ride and I had my prescription glasses hung on my shirt, like on my collar.
Well, that's
And
just not smart.
well, because I time, so I stopped to
Yeah.
pick up some trash on the side of the road, and
So
somehow,
you picked up some trash and you littered anyhow yourself.
and what? And
You
I
picked up
what?
trash and you littered your own glasses on the ground.
Well, technically, yes, that's actually what happened. But so I picked up some trash. It happened. It was like on this little grassy area right on the side of the road, and I was convinced it was in this certain area that I had lost them. Happened to also be near a storm drain. Um, so I
That's a,
basically I looked for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, they're gone. Meanwhile, these are like $300, $400 prescription glasses, and I'm like, oh, too bad, they're gone. So I got back to the house. I was living with my parents, and it was like, they're like, "Where are your glasses?" I'm like, "Well, I lost them. I think I know where, kind of." So my dad's like, "Let's go up there and look for them." I'm like, "All right." So we went up there, and his stubbornness, he would not give up. Like, he kept looking and looking. I'm like, "No, we're never gonna find them."
And what was the result?
The result was my dad's like, "Well, is it possible they fell in the storm drain?" And I was like, maybe. I mean, that seems so unlikely because of the angle of the hole and the way I was reaching over for the garbage. I was like,
It seems
it would
like
have to.
you're alluding to the fact that they are in the storm or
Well,
were in the storm drain.
it to get in the storm drain, these glasses would have had to have done some sort of like Olympic floor exercise, gymnastics move to get from my shirt collar into the storm drain because there were the bushes kind of blocking it. There was this other like these metal.
Oh my gosh, the anticipation is killing me. You know what I want to know.
So my dad's like, all right, he's like, maybe they're in there. I'm like, I doubt it. But so he's like, well, let's go home and get get something to try to fish it out if it's in there. So we had these old fishing nets on like an aluminum pole with like a net on the end. So we go back and I'm fishing down in there with this, it's all mucky water. And I'm fishing in there, and I did it like 6, 7, 8, 9 times, just trying to scrape and see if I can get anything. Nothing. I'm like, nah, it's not down there. I'm like, all right, let me try it one more time. So I go down, and then I pull it up, and my glasses are just hanging barely on the edge of this net, and I was like, I just looked at my dad, and I was like, you just never give up on stuff like this. Whereas I just like throw the towel in, like immediately.
It's 5 minutes of walking. It's like you walk 5 feet, you look around.
That's what I did.
Oh, they're gone.
Like I just accepted that as my fate. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to have these glasses. Okay, well, I'll just leave them in there. God doesn't want me to have these glasses. All right. That was my mindset, honestly.
Or maybe it was a challenge for you to overcome.
That's, after it all happened, that was, of course, where I went. It was like, oh. And then I got into this thought loop that I'm like, I couldn't resolve it. I'm like, well, which is it? How would I ever know?
I mean, that's pretty much the two different perspectives in the world.
Yes.
Either you force things to happen, knowing that there's probably a answer that you could seek out yourself. Or you just go, I guess it was meant to happen.
Yeah, I guess it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
two ways of thinking.
Well, it's two ways. It's two like fundamental approaches. Like some would call it like almost a religious approach and the scientific rationale approach. And those approaches are metaphors for my dad and me, which is why we're so similar in our stubbornness, but his is completely in the realm of the materialistic world. And mine is like completely in the realm of like the spiritual world. And we butt heads a lot because we're like exactly the same, but through a different looking glass. And it just, I don't know, it makes it sometimes difficult, even though like we love each other so much, but yet it's like we just struggle to have conversations even. Because I immediately start going into my, perspective, and he goes into his, and we just reach this kind of point where it's like, all right. But I tend to see multiple perspectives. I think he does too. But bottom line, that stubbornness, the fact that he didn't want to die, his ancestors, allowed us to actually retrieve my glasses. It's a strangely full circle thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, his ancestors just like, here's this little tiny bird's nest on the very top of the cliff, and there's a chance there could be an egg in there that we can all share.
Yes.
So we're all going to climb this very steep, dangerous cliff. 3 out of the 5 of us will die, but the other 2 can split the egg.
One time my dad, there used to be this place called Ryan's Steakhouse. Do you know Ryan's Steakhouse? It's like...
I mean,
it's I don't. Okay,
I know of Brian's Steakhouse.
No, it's Ryan's, RYAN''S, and it had like.
They probably had to do that because of LLC names.
Maybe, I don't know. This was like in the South. They
They
had
just
all these
added a B on the beginning.
Brian's. Brian's.
It's not Ryan. It's Brian.
It's not Ryan. It Brian.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this whole scarcity thing in his genes that leads to stubbornness, which is also leads him to eat in this kind of ravenous way. Used to. I remember being a kid and we went to this Ryan's place, and it's like a buffet steakhouse, almost like a Golden Corral, kind of.
Okay.
Maybe not quite as Golden Corral-ish as Golden Corral, but kind of.
Is that positive or negative?
No, it's kind of a negative. So
it's below a Golden Corral?
No.
This is like a bronze corral?
No, I don't know. It's hard to be below Golden Corral, so that's probably not true. It's probably slightly above it, if not the same. Anyway, he ate. So they had these yeast rolls that they would keep bringing to the table, like yeast rolls. These kind of hot yeasty.
Yes.
They're hot and puffy, like the very thing that you should not be eating right now.
Hot off the press, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly what I should not be eating.
just so delicious. You put the butter on them. Well, he ate so many of them, he got so sick because he ate like 50-something of them.
Oh my god! He might never know when he can have them again.
I don't think he ever ate them again. Actually, he was so sick.
Yeah.
He was so. We can't, Justin. We can't post this podcast. All right.
Well, now we're jovial, so now we can start over from like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just start right now.
Let's start now. Sorry, Dad. Now.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Dad. So what's the name of our podcast? What did we agree upon yesterday?
Oh, sorry, Dad. There's a good name for a podcast. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. We're still alive.
Sorry, Dad. We're still alive. I apologize.
Wasn't it the finale? This is their first and last.
The first and the last. Yeah. Nobody will listen to it.
What was the name?
No, you know what's interesting, Justin?
Oh, no.
Is that between the two of us, like, if I post a podcast, I would say I had at least, and this is, I think I'm underestimating, I had at least 100 people that will listen to it pretty much immediately.
Ooh,
which kind of disturbs me.
That's good. That's good numbers.
Like my entire family.
Oh, I
have a group of strong friends that will definitely listen to it. Like I just know they will because I would. And
you know what this means, right? We'll have to have an art installation in Gainesville with just a room, and when you step inside, it's just us talking. And they'll just be framed photos of us all in the room on like every single square inch of the room, and the floor will even be like
it's amazing
newsletters of just our faces.
I love this exact installation. I think it's incredible. And
whenever you leave the art installation, like the gallery, everyone gets a signed autograph of
of you and me.
And we'll call it the.
It's so good.
We'll call it the Jays experience.
The
Jays experience.
Experience the Jays.
The Justin Jason experience.
No. How about this?
We need a better name.
No, this is so cheesy. This Jay's for you.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Like the Budweiser. This Bud's for you. This Jay's for you.
No, that's pretty bad.
It's intentionally terrible. That's the whole point. It's a terrible installation.
But see, you can have things that are really bad that catch on because they're bad. That's just bad. It would never catch on.
I don't know. You'd be surprised.
That's ultimate failure right there.
I'm in St. Louis, home of Budweiser. It's clearly gotten into my brain.
Ooh, that's bad.
I know.
But yeah, what is the what was the pending name?
No. Before that, I want to talk this.
We pretty much agreed upon something.
I want to talk about this installation more.
Okay.
So one thing I love about we're not doing
I can't believe this got your attention.
Yeah, you got my attention. what I love about this installation is that we could actually pull something like that off in Gainesville, because I actually know places that would probably let us do it.
That's my point.
Like for free.
It would work in Gainesville. Yeah.
Like that's what's cool about Gainesville is like there's
like
oh my
this, gosh, wait.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be great if we made chairs that are just our bodies, and so whenever you go into the podcast room, you get to sit on us?
The question is like whether you're like semi-erect or not, because that would
it'll hold you in place.
That would change the seating situation completely. Like
it would hold you in place, like I said, yeah.
Or you could you could choose. You hit a button.
It's like no,
the way it works is you sit in it without it engaged, and then when you sit down, you hit it and it holds you in.
Well, like safety or something.
It's like
whenever we go off the board, whenever we just go just not completely out of the just we jump out of the atmosphere.
Justin,
it keeps you locked in.
Justin, we need fun. We need funds to do this stuff, because can you imagine if we were actually...
This is like a Dan Harmon thing right now.
Can you imagine if we had enough money to actually...
to do this?
To actually make these kind of realistic replicas of ourselves as chairs.
I mean, wouldn't the chairs get Me Too'd? First time that furniture gets...
That would have to be... That'd be part of the name of the installation. Something with Me Too. It'd be a play off that.
Can you feel it? Yeah. Can you feel it?
Can you feel it?
Unlock the secret mysteries of the mind. And then you press a button, and you're like, oh.
And what's weird is some people will prefer sitting on you, and some people prefer sitting on me. For all these weird...
and then we can have a counter, like a tally. And so every time someone sits down and presses the button, it switches from 310 to 311.
Oh God, this is so revealing.
So then you'll have
soul
people,
destroyed.
And then you'll have people that are like, well, we have to balance out the scores, because you'll have the OCD people that can't have the scores too different.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about them.
And and so there's this whole science experiment over.
It really is
based on aesthetics. So it's based on numbers, and then we'll have a video set up where you'll have a camera filming the people sit down, and then whenever they press that button, it films their reaction, and then that becomes included in another display. And just like an amusement park, whenever you go on the roller coaster and they take your photo and then you can go buy it.
Yes.
Then they can go and they can buy their photo of their reaction, and then we'll sign it.
Dude, this is particularly deep too for me in kind of a non-humorous way, because one of my earliest memories was I had this uncle, and he was literally, this dude was 6'9", and he was the biggest person I've ever... No, seriously, he was the biggest person I've ever been around in my entire life. Okay. And I remember being a little kid, 5, one of my earliest memories, and he put me on his lap, and on this... Justin, this is not supposed to be. This part's not supposed to be funny. All right. He put me on his lap, and I remember, and he put his hands on my shoulders, and he said, "Justin, I hate you right now. Okay, listen."
Oh my God, it's gonna be the promo.
and because I
can't breathe.
Justin,
oh my God.
Justin, wait. And because I felt something underneath my little 5-year-old self.
Oh my
God. I tried to squirm off, and he pushed me down really hard. I'm glad you find this entertaining. Justin, I don't think Justin, you'd be a terrible psychotherapist. I'm just gonna point that out. Really
I just laugh at the patient. But you carried that with you your whole life. And it got reawakened based on the art gallery.
I know it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Because if I remember, I was the one that made the idea to actually have the button. So that was my, that was my
you.
doing. That was me.
Is that your way of getting back, and everyone else gets to experience what you experienced?
Oh my God, you're right. You're right. You're right. Oh my God, you're right. It's like Misery Loves Company. That's the name of the installation. Misery Loves Company.
Oh, okay, yeah, that will be the name.
Misery Loves Company. That's it. It's perfect.
That can be a podcast name too.
Misery. Oh my God.
Misery Loves Company. Yes, that's it. This is how we just came up with our podcast name.
See, this is why you have to actually do it, Justin. Because if you don't do it, you don't get there. Oh, dude, Justin. Anyway, he pushed me down so hard, and this. You're the worst psychotherapist of all time. I'm trying to open up to you about these things that have happened to me, and you can't even talk.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
It's really not funny.
So he pushed you down on him really hard.
Oh yeah, and this dude was like, he had to duck to go like under doors,
He's a big man.
He was wide too. He wasn't just like this tall, skinny dude. He was girthy.
So you treated him like a throne.
Oh.
I mean, basically, right?
Like a what?
Like Game of Thrones. He was the Iron Throne.
Yeah. Yeah, kinda.
Okay, you can. I'll try my best to be to have manners and consideration. Dude,
No,
continue.
it's fine. I'm over it. I'm over it so much that I added it to our installation, where everybody that comes in there has to experience what I experienced, but through me and you.
You're lumping me in this too, yeah.
Oh yeah. Misery Loves Company.
No, wait, exactly. That way I can share the blame.
Yeah, and the company's us.
Yeah,
it's
that's my point.
Like we're the company in the room, but we're also it's good. Misery Loves Company.
It kind of goes along with my alone with company concept, but I like it. I like it. That should be the name. The MLC.
I don't like that it has it has a negative tinge to it. Misery.
We'll just replace misery with whatever the Latin name is.
Yeah, but people but I mean, I want it to be more like uplifting and if I saw a podcast called Misery Loves Company, I'd be like, oh, it's going to be two like Jewish guys talking about their New York life.
Misery Loves Company. Maybe it's your misery loves our company. I don't know.
Justin, here's the reality, and I don't know why.
Okay, straight talk.
I don't know why God has subjected me to so much, but the story I just told you is it's less than the tip of an iceberg of what I can go on about. And I can go on about those things, but I can also go on about energy sources. The bottom line is, I think I'm a very good candidate for podcasting because
you're an extremely good candidate, and everything you talk about ends up with the tip of something.
Well, and I'm unafraid to. I have nothing to lose sharing things. I don't care. I'll share.
You have nothing, but I have a lot.
Tranny porn. Well, you're the straight guy. Is what it is.
I'm the straight character with the glasses.
Yes,
you're the straight guy. In the movies and the anime, I'm the guy that isn't extreme. Kind of goes a straight line.
Yes.
Keeps the train moving.
Yes, you're the straight guy.
And you're the guy hopping on horses along the train.
Swimming across the Missouri River.
Yes, exactly.
On a horse.
No, not even on a horse. Just swimming. You can't swim either. You're just praying that you'll end up on the other side.
Justin, whenever I tell people about
somehow,
whenever I tell people about that I did that, they just pause. And these are people that know where I'm talking about in Kansas City.
You have to pause.
They just pause and kind of look at me in this way, like where it's a mixture of like, okay, Jason might be certifiably insane, but I know Jason. Seems like he kind of knows what's going on. It's this weird like mixture of reaction that I get from people. They kind of just like, really.
Well, it's like what we said earlier. You're a Huck Finn having ass.
I think I kind of am, actually. Well, I'm in Missouri. I'm in Missouri too, so it was very appropriate.
Very.
Oh, you know what's weird about Kentucky? So I sent that video.
I'm still trying to calm down from my laughter. I haven't laughed that hard. I don't think I've laughed that hard.
I haven't either.
Years.
I haven't either. So think of the value.
That could have been the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
Yeah, it was good.
That's like champagne. That's a way of toasting to this occasion.
Well, if you think about the power,
the champagne of laughter.
The champagne. No, I don't want alcohol. Nothing alcohol related. Can't do it. You know me.
Skip that. You can't handle a cup of coffee.
the sparkling.
He's unhinged.
The sparkling grape juice of laughter. So
it doesn't have the same. This doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't, Justin. It just doesn't quite have the same ring.
No.
But yeah, like it shows the value of this to even just us because.
Ooh, random question. Do you think champagne bottles are designed to create different sounds whenever you do like a toast? Do you think like the design, if anyone actually takes that into consideration?
I would say absolutely. Never thought about it.
It's interesting, right?
But I'm sure glass makers, yeah. I'm sure that's like that, and maybe that's why they're so fluted because it's like a bell.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
I like that. That's the kind of stuff that you don't ever think about in life. But
we do. We have weird conversations. Yeah. See, these are the things we can give to you, listeners. Yes. All of you two people, Jason and I,
which Justin,
that are listening.
The key to make this thing successful is no matter what this little counter says right here, ticking away, that we always treat it like it's just us talking.
True.
Because the second you start to think you have an audience, and you can tell this is where the psychological component gets important to have something successful. People will like it because I don't think
it's going to come anytime soon.
Well, I think you might be wrong about that, honestly. Like I said, if I start sharing this,
you just Daft Punked on me.
I know people that will listen to it. I just know people that will listen to it.
Yeah, I wonder if the honey badger will.
Honey badger will listen to this the second it comes out.
He probably will. He'll be rolling in his Volvo. You know who you are. You'll be cruising in your Volvo, listening to your little
the Volvo
cute honey badger self, listening to us talk about you.
Okay, the Volvo's name's Baby, first of all.
Oh, true, Baby.
So you can't refer to it as the Volvo. That's like saying the person when you know them.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I apologize, baby.
I still have a key to Baby on my keychain.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
Well, because
I can't believe
we co-purchased.
I can't believe our dear friend.
Yes, our dear friend Royce.
Oh my gosh, you revealed his name to the public.
I'm gonna reveal everybody's name. This is.
You hear that, listeners? If you send us anything, you will be revealed.
Listeners.
There's no John Doe said. It is straight up Royce.
Listeners, FYI.
Here's his address.
If you know me, and you spent time with me, I will, in the most loving way possible, bring you in.
Reveal all your business, yes.
And I will share names, and I will name names. And if you've hurt me in the past, then I will make sure to treat you with the utmost kindness and probably not out you for it. So you're lucky.
Okay, so to our listeners, the difference between Jason and myself is you can approach me knowing that I'm not going to do anything that you don't specifically
thanks,
ask
Justin.
of.
This is like you're trying
So,
to get people to like you.
well, no, well, I mean, of course, but
yeah.
now we've created this avenue, this system here where you can go to either of us based on your own personality, based on what you're comfortable with, and also based on the content, perhaps. So it gives the listener actually more freedom this way of knowing that they can have a specific way of carrying out their actions without them actually having to like take on the whole decision making of what will happen by providing their information.
Yes, I get it. And I may have no friends at the end of all this besides you, Justin.
Well, I'll thoroughly enjoy you talking about anything.
Well,
So, whoever would talk to you or give you content to talk about, they're probably just going to be better in general. So sorry to my listeners. Jason's listeners are probably going to be cooler.
Well, that's probably true, but that's not.
That's probably true.
But
so now we have a healthy competition between our fan base.
No. I want every
which leads back to our gallery and the counter system on our chairs.
I want everybody to integrate. I want this all to be one big, huge family. That's ultimately my goal. I think that I'm a person who a lot of people tell me things. So people just open up to me my whole life. They tell me their deepest, darkest, everything. And I would never overstep a boundary if somebody shares something with me in confidence, ever.
You're like a lowercase p Pandora's box.
That's an interesting way to put it. Like I might
lowercase.
I might frame things in a way that is maybe more general. You might know who I'm talking about, listener, but But I'm going to, of course, talk about Royce. I mean, Royce needs to be like a kind of a recurring. I mean, Royce is just what an incredible.
He's going to be in our podcast consistently, whether he wants to or not.
Exactly. He's such an incredible character. Like he's a character.
We need to get him to call in every single episode.
Just like a little Royce time.
Yeah, we'll have a Royce segment.
A little Royce. Hey, Royce. What are you doing?
Like, he could do our sponsors. He could read out the sponsors.
Let's have Royce read out.
That'd be so sweet. Everyone would love that because they get to hear his beautiful little voice.
Yes, with a smiling face.
We also could possibly get paid. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
But yeah. Oh, another thing about our gallery is we need to make sure. You know how like you'll have sidewalks where they'll paint footsteps. And they'll be like, this is where this chief walked. We could have in the gallery space, we could have footsteps of where we walked in it.
You mean for our Misery Loves Company installation? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you can follow in our footsteps.
You know what I just realized? We're talking, like in this podcast, it's kind of turning into right now, we're talking about art the way that a lot of these ones talk about like comedy, except it's
that's interesting.
Except it's even different though because they just talk about comedy, blah blah blah. But we're actually like creating little art, like
every single podcast is an art installation of like an audio installation.
Yes.
That's interesting.
But we're actually talking about like an art installation that's hilariously awesome.
I mean, what it sounds like is this is just the coolest podcast.
I actually kind of believe we might be able to pull that off. I really do.
I think these are uncharted waters.
Yes, no, it is, and like we were,
AKA uncharted water.
You and I are so strangely similar, but yet
we have a weird combination.
But yet we're also like not.
It's almost like we finish each other's. How you just.
I was just being a little bit. I was being a little bit naughty. Oh, Justin, this is going to be so good.
That's another good soundbite. we have so much great promo material. Oh my gosh!
I think that what I can see.
We can just have an Instagram post of me laughing at your previous.
Oh God, that when you laugh for 10 minutes straight about the fact that that I had an uncle push me down on those rock hard member. Yeah. Yeah,
that's also a whole nother family.
That's pretty funny.
But
yes. I know. I often give it a good laugh. And yeah, so.
Yeah.
But this, I feel like right now I'm recognizing what you actually pointed out to me when I was in Austin. No, Wisconsin. When you called me and I was on the street and it was night and you said, Jason, you just got to start talking. Just record yourself. Talk about whatever. And I was like, okay, I've been kind of feeling that. Maybe it makes sense. But I was always afraid to do it. But just doing this right now, I'm like, okay, I think this is a good medium for me because I can express myself fully in this way that I feel like I've always wanted to, because I'm really I enjoy one-on-one conversation a lot, but until now, it's been really hard to share that with a lot of people. Podcasts have just made that possible, and sometimes I wish I have so many awesome conversations with so many people across the country of just all weirdest stuff. I just attract the most weird situations. And I always thought, well, should I be recording these actual conversations with the people? And maybe in the future, that's something that we could do, record conversations with people kind of separate and kind of add it to the stream of podcasts that we do. Maybe we have one, it's all underneath Studio Raining Sun, let's say. And then we have...
Well, if we just create a network, it can be its own...
But a network where there's a common threads, though, not just a network of, I don't know, Feral Audio or something like that, which Duncan used to be under, but I don't think is anymore. So, those podcast networks didn't really work good. I mean, let's just create a thread of, because it's either you or me involved in all of them. There's different, iterations of it. Like maybe you talk to your friend Aaron, on your own, and you release that under the same. So basically, you end up with all these conversations. It's and then people, the ones they like, they'll listen to. I mean, if they like Gristleneck and Justin, if that's their favorite, then that's what they'll listen to. They don't have to listen to Jason talks to Royce. But you can kind of it's almost like recording your life in these conversations and then putting them out there. It's and they're all attached because you and I created Studio Raining Sun.
So I guess there are two things to say. Well, really 2.5 things to say. The first 1.5. Okay, so if I, when I told you to record yourself and just to talk.
Yeah.
That's pretty much me telling myself to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so anytime people ask me, which is pretty rare, but if anyone asks my opinion on something...
Justin, that's not true.
If that's the case, though, then generally whatever I tell you is subconsciously me telling myself that.
Yes, I totally agree.
So just know that whatever answer I give you, I'm kind of giving myself the same answer. So treat it as being genuine. And then the second one is, I'm surprised you're calling me Justin.
Versus Conifer?
Yeah, because normally you always call me that. So I found that really interesting.
Well, you want to know the truth why? Because when I'm looking at the screen, it just says Justin Tompkins right here.
Oh yeah, well I'm gonna have to change.
That's the only reason, and I'm tired of looking at this
Wow, did you forget my name? So you looked at the screen, you're like, oh, that's who I'm talking to.
Oh, that's right. It's Justin now.
And I'm not speaking to I'm speaking to Gristleneck.
Yeah, Gristleneck.
No, I'm speaking to Jason.
Yes, I'm both.
Because it's easier to say Jason.
Yes, you call me whatever you want to call me.
Granted, well, see, the reason why is because I knew you as Jason first.
Well, yes.
So that's weird.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
Did you realize I'm the only person to ever call myself Gristleneck ever? Is me? Like,
that is interesting.
It's just me. It's just my own thing. Nobody else, like...
Yeah. That's fine.
It's like Kanye West. Everybody calls him Kanye. Nobody calls him Yeezy. Come on.
That's a good
He's
point.
He's Kanye.
Or they'll call him Ye.
Maybe they'll call him Ye, but 99 out of 100 times he's Kanye. Because Kanye is awesome to say.
True.
I love Kanye so much.
Me too. Me too.
He just something about his whole everything. I just love him.
Hello. Jason. Well, I guess this is a solo podcast now.